Okay, like most end goals, there's a lot of different ways to get there, a lot of interventions that we can use. You'll notice as we go along, the things that I'm teaching are specifically meant to be interchangeable so that you can work smarter, not harder, and just make life easier for you both collectively. That said, I'm going to give you a list of options and you figure out what makes most sense to you in any given moment, which intervention to use, okay? So first intervention, by far the easiest, because it doesn't really require a whole lot of training, is you can of course crate her, right? One of the ways that we teach our dogs appropriate behaviors is by limiting their opportunity to make decisions we don't like. And so the crate is just one of many, many examples of how you prevent bad behaviors from happening and being rehearsed. Remember, any behavior that's repeated, particularly if it's reinforced, it's going to continue to be repeated. And that's not to say that we can't change it. An old dog can learn new tricks. All dogs can always learn. But once they have a pattern or a groove of a pattern, it's a little bit harder to break out of it. So I would suggest practicing all of these interventions, use them interchangeably in the situations that make sense. So first and foremost is crating or limiting her access to set her up for success, right? Another option of limiting access might be something like using the waist leash, clipping her to you to limit her options, which actually I am going to do. I'm realizing I took it off. Just so that she doesn't have so much freedom to, again, rehearse decisions we'd rather her not. What she's chewing on, just for reference, I brought over a beef cheek roll because Penny has so many and she's a big fan. Really good for her teeth, really highly digestible. The only thing I would be careful of, you of course want to monitor her with these sort of things. If she starts getting like really big hunks off of it, I would take it away. You don't want her to digest a whole lot at once because she's so small, her system is small. But this is personally my preferred chewing option for many, many dogs. It's teeth safe, it's digestible safe. Anyway, so the second thing we're going to do, we're going to teach her a place cue. A place cue is so versatile and one of my very favorites because it helps them be better able to generalize. Remember, early on I said that they don't generalize well, and so that's why dog training is so tedious in the sense that we have to practice these things over and over in a variety of contexts and environments for them to be able to generalize a little more easily. The place cue, because we're using a visual marker like a blanket, a towel, a pillowcase, a bed, etc., because we're using a visual, physical place marker, that makes it a little bit easier for them to generalize. So for example, we're going to teach her the place cue now. I'm going to show that to her with Penny first so that she can model her and then show her how to do it next to her. This makes it very easy to take her to things in the big picture, like once we proof it, right? It makes it very easy to take her things to like a patio, a brunch, a winery, etc. Because because of your practice and because of how you've conditioned this item, she'll understand, oh, that's my place marker. I know the expected behavior. I know what gets me rewarded. It just makes it a little easier for her to be set up for success. So again, coming back to that point of, is that so fun? Coming back to that point of offering enough supports, offering enough structure to set her up for success and limit the opportunities to make choices we don't like. This is a good way to do that because the expectation is known. There will be a repeated pattern, a history of expectation with this. And you can pair it with something like the waist leash to limit options. So I'm going to start there and show you that. And then the last thing that I'll show you is just teaching her that it's actually more rewarding to not be begging, to not be jumping up, etc. And that comes back to the just capturing good behaviors as they offer it, right? I'll come to that in a second. Let's do the place cue first. And then I'll show you what that looks like, okay? So I'm going to simulate eating. I brought specifically, I did this strategically. One, I haven't broken my fast yet, so I don't really want to eat a whole lot anyway. That said, I brought something super not exciting for them, most likely. Dogs might like bananas, but they're not ecstatic about it. And then I brought something a little more excitable because it has a package, it makes noise, etc. So I'm gonna work with these while we do the thing when we get to that step. First, I'm gonna teach a place cue, okay? So creating just a little bit of space. I'm gonna put your bed right there, okay? And then we're gonna put this ma'am. And so if they grab something that you don't want them to grab, we just make it not a game, right? Red? Yes. Good. Good. Leave it. Good girl. And so, good girl. She went right back, but then she looked at me. She disengaged. She wants to see what's more rewarding, right? Good girl. Now I'm going to send her away. Go find. Just to create space so that I can put it down without stress. Another way to do that, hey, yes, good. Another way to do that, you can always just lure her, right? So if I didn't want to throw that and send her away, I'm just going to lure her off of it. I'm going to set it up. I'm going to be treating and rewarding her here. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to guide her back to the place. Good girl. That's a place. Good girl. Do you want to show her, Penny? Can you show her? Come on over. Place. Yes, 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 Penny Grace. Good girl. Now, I don't know how much you can see here. I'm holding her back so she's not harassing Penny. She's not trying to steal the snack out of her face. This is the biggest challenge. Good girl. Place. Good girl, good girl, good girl. Now, does she know what that means yet? No. We're naming it as it's happening so she can start making that connection with the behavior. Now, Penny knows that a place means D-O-W-N on that marker, but because red keeps getting under her feet, she's kind of like, I'm not really sure what to do here. That's okay. Good girl, Red. Good place. Very good, Penny. Good place, girls. Very good place. Okay, be free. Go find. Good job. Tossing a piece away, separate directions so that they could go find it, regroup, and then choose if they want to. Good girls. Choose if they want to keep playing the game. Now I'm going to up the ante. I brought some ground turkey that I cooked up for Penny's birthday yesterday. We want to make sure that it's really, really clear that this behavior is rewarded highly. You can't see Penny's eyes, but they're about bugging out of place. Good. They're about bugging out of her head. Good place. Good place, girls. Very good. Now again, starting very, very small, very realistic. Good girls. Okay, be free. Go find. Good. Starting small so that they can be successful. My goal, regardless of the stage of training that we're in, my goal is always to have them be successful as often as possible. And that means that we offer more support sometimes, more guidance, or higher incentives. But we're going to repeat that. Now this time, I'm going to see if I can use less luring. I'm going to cue Penny and then hope that Red follows along. I do have the turkey in my hand just so it's ready. Penny, Red, place. No. And that's okay. That means that it's too hard. So I'm just going to stand up. Good, 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 good. And then reset, okay? So it's okay to test and they don't quite get it. We're gonna go back to what they were last successful at. Place, yes, good. Place, good, place, place. Good place, girls, very good place. Nice place, Red. Very up, up, up. Stay right there. Very good. Very good place. So you see why we start really short to keep her successful? Because she just wanted to pop up simply because I took too long to break up the turkey. Good girls. Good place. Now this is proofing. This is building up duration because I'm treating and rewarding them staying there. Okay. Be free. Go find. Here, Red. Go find. Good girls. Good girls. Very good. So my suggestion, I would work on this, okay? Find a place marker that you really like, that's really easy to transport. Think about big picture, things you can put in your bag easily. Grab it and go, okay? That's one of the mistakes I made early on. I started with place. Good, Penny. I started with a bed. A bed is not realistic to bring most places. And while we'll generalize the cue to other surfaces, like other blankets, other towels, other whatever in the long run, you want to start with one thing that you can use really consistently while we build up a foundation of this skill and proof it. Good girls, good place, very good. Okay, be free, go find. Good girls, very good. So I'm gonna do more work on this with them after, but I wanna show you the other option that I mentioned, which is capturing good behaviors when they offer it. You can do this anytime with any behavior all of the time, and you should pretty frequently. I mentioned to you before, I hand feed Penny all day long. This is one of the ways that I do that. I'm capturing good behaviors before she starts to screw up. So I'm gonna put the place marker away just for now so they don't get confused. And then I'm going to shift to me eating so that they can see like what, they can learn the manners of what to do then. Something to just like, a human construct to work through, let's say. Begging is not bad. Dogs are just communicating. They're asking for what they like. They're communicating their preferences. And so the fact that they're watching you while they're eating, there's nothing, while you're eating rather, there's nothing wrong with that. It's about finding the appropriate line of this is too much behavior. So just as an example, we've talked about when they're off duty, behavior might be one way versus they're on duty, it's gonna be a little stricter, a little more streamlined, right? This is a good example of that. If I'm at a cafe and I ask for a PLA CEQ and she chooses to SIT instead of DOWN, so effing what? She's more comfortable, she's staying on the spot, she's not pawing at me, she's not jumping on me, she's not moving. Totally do not care, I am going to pick my battles. However, if her vest is on, if she knows that she's actively going to work, we call it working, going to work, that indicates like the change when we get dressed, then the expectation is, no, you need to maintain what I asked you to do in that moment. And so it might take a couple of times of redirecting, but we're going to make sure that she gets to that position, okay? So forget all that for now. We're going to, very good, can you be free? Go find. Good job. Hey, Red, look, you missed one here, baby. Red, get that. Good job. We're gonna put the place marker away because this is more about capturing free, she's going to look for the blanket. Capturing the free behaviors as they're offered. So the reason I said all that about like what is the standard in that moment, if they're sitting politely or they're just standing there watching, curiosity is not only normal, but it helps build their confidence. We want them to be curious. We do not want them to be obnoxious or pushy or demanding. That's the line. I hope that that makes sense, okay? So I'm going to reset them briefly. I'm gonna send them away and then we'll dive into the capturing of good behavior. She's excited, so she just went, and she's biting, yeah, you, and she's biting her little lip. She's so cute. Okay, ready? Go find. Good girls. And now I'm going to pretend to eat my little snack here, but I'm not gonna wait for her to fuck up, pardon my language. I'm gonna say, good girl, good job, good. That's mom's. And again, curiosity, you have to figure out what works for you. Personally, this is closed. There's nothing that they can do with it. I don't mind letting them sniff it and be curious to show them like it's not a big deal. What you're getting, good girl, what you're getting is actually better than what I'm eating. This is a shitty little nutrition granola bar or whatever. You guys get some ground turkey patties. That's so yummy. And so I'm just gonna like, I should have taken these off, sorry. Usually I'm better about that. We're gonna leave those there. Okay. I'm just gonna simulate that like I'm eating and like whatever that would look like. Good girl, Red. Go find. So I threw it into her bed. Now the reason for that, two things. I'm sending her away. I'm just creating a little bit of space because she was getting ready to jump up and I wanna help set her up for success. And two, it's sending her to a spot that she could hypothetically place in the long run if she so chooses. That's not what I'm asking for, that's not the expectation, but just why I threw it there, okay? So I'm gonna pretend to eat again. Very good, Penny. Nice job being polite. Very good, Red. Nice, nice and polite. Now, again, you have to figure out what works for you and what works for her, right? I don't mind if they're doing this, they're sitting in front of me, I'm eating, as long as they're sitting, they're being polite, they're not jumping up when they see me like drop things. I am 100% fine with this behavior. If you don't love it, you can work on that formal cueing, either in the crate or the bed for a place cue, or you can get up and reward her away from you every time that you want to reward her. So for example, if I'm sitting here eating and she's doing a good job, I could, if I want to take it a step further and get some exercise, I could come all the way over here, good girl, and just treat and reward her in the bed. Thereby teaching her, you're not going to get rewarded while I'm eating and where I'm eating, but I'm going to treat and reward you in this designated spot. It could be her bed, it could be her bowls, it could be anywhere. I know, I see that. So now she's jumping up, right? I don't want to reward that. I'm going to tell Penny, good girl, Penny, because Penny's making a good choice. And then I'm going to say, Red, go find. Oh, you didn't see it. Go find. Good girl. Very good, Pen. Good job. And again, you take it where you want, right? Like if I, for whatever reason, it's not important, but if I decided that I wanted Penny in a down, good, then I can ask her. Whoa, all done. All done. Hey, look at me. Yes, that's your friend communicating too much. Good. Penny? Good girl. Hey, all done. Go find. Now what that was, let's regulate first. Everybody regulate. Good girl. Good job. Good. So that growl and subsequent correction was because Red, hey, give her space. Thank you. Good job. Penny, can you go find? Good. Good find, Red. You go find. Creating space, creating movement to help them work through the big feelings. And admittedly, to give me a minute to breathe and like work through that, because even though that went as well as it could have, because Red did need to be told that that wasn't okay. And I'll get back to why. I'll explain what happened there, that breakdown. I'm actually glad it happened on video so I can watch it back and confirm. But the thing that pushed Penny over the edge, which almost never ever happens, is because I was treating and rewarding her, Red, leave her. Good listening. Go find. Penny catch. I was putting it into Penny's mouth, and Red not only tried to grab it out of her mouth, but then physically, good girl, good choice, physically jumped up on her just to get leverage, to like get closer and try to steal the treat. But that was a good example of dogs teaching each other. And again, scary, valid, don't love it. Don't love that she felt like she needed to go there, but it's important to understand, here, Red, go find, that they're always communicating the best way they know how. They're not perfect. That said, again, by correction standards, like that was appropriate. She only kept going at her because Red was physically on her. And so from Penny's perspective, Red was not getting the message and respecting it. And that's valid, because again, Red is just, you okay? Red is just learning, yeah. But sometimes we have to shout, which, you know, we'd rather not do, but you better pick up on the subtle cues, okay? So let me go back to, did I cover that? Yeah, I did. So the reason that she growled and then Red, good job. See, oh, you can't see it, sugar. Okay. So the good part, remember I mentioned when a correction happens, what you want to see them do is just enough to communicate, that's not appropriate, I don't like that, and to physically create space, and then to back off, okay? So now that I think about it, I wish she had backed off a little bit faster, because I did clap to interrupt her. Anyway, it doesn't matter, nobody's perfect. Lost my train of thought because, you know, emotions, feelings, dysregulation, which is why it's important to breathe. Very good. Oh, I started to say, you can see she's holding no animosity towards her. Penny is a little skeptical. She's like watching her because she's like, listen, that was a lot. But that's how dogs work things out, right? They have to, good girl, they have to communicate a little differently than we do, because sometimes obnoxious little puppies don't get it. Yes, good. Chill them, okay? Very good, very good. Okay, I'm gonna ask Red for a middle. No, Penny, not you. Penny, can you go find Red? Yes, middle, good. Now this is just gauging where they're at. I'm just trying to assess. Red, go find how their emotions are. Penny, middle. Good. Good job. Okay, be free. Go find. Good. Okay, be free. All done. Yay! Just trying to assess if they can focus and if they're more regulated now. Good job. So you're such a bugger. It shows she's still learning because she's, hey, all done. All done. You are so in her bubble. Good. We're going to put this away. That's the other thing is I was using a very high incentive turkey, so that upped the ante of big emotions, big feelings. That's partly why that popped off. Anyway, takeaways before all of that. Oh my God, this is so long and I am so sorry. What I would suggest, when you don't have the bandwidth, good girl, the bandwidth and time to watch her exclusively, she goes in the crate, okay? When you have the red, yes, good. When you have the time and the bandwidth to work on it, I would suggest clip her to the waist leash and encourage her to go on her place. Start super small, marking and rewarding, send her away, regroup, okay? I would practice that both when you're eating and when you're not, because again, we want to really help her generalize that skill. I also would practice capturing and rewarding good behaviors in general, but especially when you're eating. So again, just as an example, if I'm sitting here and eating and she's making a good choice, then I'm going to mark and reward that. If I need to create space, I can easily send her away by just throwing a piece away, right? I can do that just to regroup and let her come back, or I can send her red, go find, specifically to her bed, a place marker, her crate, etc. It's an option, okay? That's it. That's it. And then we're gonna deep breathe and decompress. You mentioned Red will have a nap after this. That's great. That will be helpful to help her regulate even further. But see, this is the problem when dogs do that stuff. They're fine. They've moved on. Like, neither one of them is thinking about that. But my nervous system, because of my own bullshit and upbringing and whatever, my nervous system is still dysregulated. So in my opinion, that is the hardest part of dog training, is remembering that our ability to regulate, our ability to model for them sets the example. Energy, emotions are contagious. And so we want to be really intentional, really strategic as often as possible to manage our energy and emotions as best we can. Good sniffs, good, leave it, Penny. Nice job. Very good. To set everyone up for success. Anyway, let me know if you have questions about that. I'm going to warn you to have a glass of wine before you watch this one.